Welcome. This is PDX, the podcast to celebrate and uplift the people, places, businesses, and events that make Portland, Oregon a vibrant and thriving community, amplifying the unique culture, creativity, and connections that define our city. By fostering inclusivity and collaboration, we aim to strengthen the bonds that unite us and showcase the heart and soul of Portland to the world. I'm Dawn Sellers, your host for today's episode. Portland's First Busk-athon, a multi-day event from April 10th through the 13th, brought 30 talented buskers to the streets of downtown and Old Town Portland. The streets were filled with music as audiences gathered to enjoy the experience. 18 businesses provided space and support for the event. A busk-off on Sunday, April 13th, filled downtown Directors Park with music and people. MC Anonymous entertained the crowd as finalists performed before a panel of judges who gave on-the-spot feedback. Portland's Favorite Busker Award went to Maeve Stier, who gave an operatic performance while playing their accordion. The Rising Star Award was given to singer-songwriter Greta. I had the opportunity to sit down with the winners, Maeve and Greta, along with Sydney and Emily from Portland Clean and Safe and Portland Downtown Events, to talk about the Busk-athon, how the idea was inspired, and how it quickly developed, what the experience was like for them, the positive impact for downtown, and what's next for downtown Portland events and these two talented musicians. Listen to the interview, and then maybe you'll be lucky enough to catch them at one of their favorite busking corners in Portland. Stick around at the end of the interview to watch their busk-off performances and hear the judges' feedback. What was it like to be part of the First Busk-athon?
Yeah, it was like, it really was a marathon, you know. It was 3 straight days of busking, which was a muscle I haven't flexed in a while. It's been really gnarly outside, so there's not a lot of reason to go out there right now. Not quite the season yet, although now it really is. So yeah, it was great, just like reacquainting with busking and with interacting with the passersby. It was a lot of joy. It was wonderful. I really fell in love with Director Park, actually, which I didn't really think twice about before. It has amazing acoustics. So yeah, it was just nice getting back in touch with all my music and connecting with people on the street. Yeah, it was lots of fun.
And how about you, Greta?
I think I totally agree. I really didn't know what to expect going into it. I was like, I kind of signed up on a whim. I'm like, this will be a great opportunity just to get out there and have practice performing. And then it really was like so pleasantly surprised just to see like people were so receptive, like just passing on the street. I mean, especially with battling the weather the first couple days, like I had so many people come up to me like, thank you for doing this. Like this like made my day. And just like, I feel like those kind of experiences were so like heartwarming, and I really wasn't expecting that. And I think it was just like such a wonderful experience to be doing this with so many other performers, and just to have like really accessible like free performances all around town. I think that was just like, it was a really cool experience all around.
Yeah, there was also like a huge turnout for the last day, that Sunday, like, you know, finals. Yeah, there was, like the seats were all full, and there were people, you know, passing by and then like sort of being brought in, like, oh, what's going on, you know. And that was, it was one of my favorite audiences I've performed for in a while. It was just a lot of love, a lot of warmth coming from that audience.
Now, Greta, you're from the Northwest, but not Portland.
Yes.
So how long have you been in Portland?
Going on like 2 or 3 years now. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, Seattle and Tacoma. And I only moved down here just in 2022, I think, to start at Portland State University with a theater degree. So I've only been here for a couple years, and it's been like, it was a little bit of a slow process at the start. I think like breaking into the music scene and getting to know other like-minded artists. But like, I would say with Busk-athon especially, like I feel like so at home here now and like integrated. And it's just been like, it feels similar to home in a way that's like, just like a joy to be here. So I feel like I made the right choice in like coming to move to Portland and being here. Just I love this city and the community that's here.
We all love to hear that. And Maeve, are you from Portland?
I kind of moved around a little as a kid, but I spent most of my life here. Yeah, and I grew up right outside of Portland in Lake Oswego, and yeah, I started going to PSU also when I was fresh out of middle school. So spent a leisurely 6 years there, and yeah, I've pretty much lived in Portland.
So Portland is home for you.
Yeah, most of my life. Yeah.
And you described yourself as a wearer of many hats and a multidisciplinary performer. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think in some parts of the performing world, you're asked to choose what you are. I haven't really chosen the one thing that I do, because I don't see why you have to, really.
I love that. And Greta, you write your own songs and just released your first album.
Yeah, I put out Evergreen actually a couple years ago now, but in high school I went to like an alternative arts high school, so I got the opportunity to like start getting into audio recording and songwriting, and I have been like playing guitar and singing for like as long as I can remember. So then it started to like become this tangible thing, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to like write original music. I want to put that out in the world. And so yeah, I've really been like working on that. I put out an album called Evergreen, and the song that I performed for Busk-athon was from that. And I'm in the process right now. I'm working with some local producers to work on some new stuff, which has been really exciting to hopefully get some new music out there this summer. I think as I've been like, especially in recent years, like getting into like sharing my music more, it's definitely been like a balance of how much of like myself I want to put into my music, and how I'm like being vulnerable I think can be kind of hard when writing. But it's definitely like, I think my music, Evergreen especially, comes from a place of like starting to grow up and like become an adult and like breaking into that sort of thing with getting into the industry and going to school. So it explores a lot of like my own like personal struggles and like identity. I think especially as like a queer person, like getting to write about like that experience and my relationships has been like, it's amazing for myself in being able to process, and then it's also amazing to like share that with people and see that resonate. I mean, just at Busk-athon, I ran into someone who came up to me and they're like, I just wanted to say like I listened to your music. Like they had listened to my album before seeing me perform, which was such a crazy connection to have. And we like were able to talk a little bit about that, and they were like, yeah, like just like relating with people in person has been like a great experience.
How long have you played the accordion? Not long, if I remember.
Yeah, I tried it when I was 14 or so, because it was one of those things where I was just like, ooh, this seems cool, like let me try this. Took 2 lessons and I was like, wow, this is really hard. I'm good. But I already had the accordion. So in 2020, after I graduated with like an opera degree, I didn't really see a world where I could really do anything with that. I mean, we were at a weird crossroads with arts funding, you know, so I just started arranging like opera arias for myself. Actually, Caro Nome, which is the one that I sang on Sunday, was one of the first that I started working on. And I mean, it went 1,000 different places I'd never expected, but that was sort of the beginning. Is what really latched me onto the accordion was arranging music for myself to sing along to.
So do you have a favorite corner to busk on in Portland?
I do, yeah. I my first one was the Saturday market on the PSU campus, because I've been so many times and I could foresee the little spots that might be open. And it was lovely. I tried the Portland Waterfront Farmers Market. That's a whole fiasco. It's a whole scene. There's like 10 different people on each block trying to do their things. So eventually I found a corner on Northwest 23rd Avenue. It's like 23rd and Irving. And there's Portal Tea up there, which used to be Tea Chai Tay. And there were just people up there on the balcony and people walking by, doing their shopping. Everyone's in kind of a good mood around there, because it's you're going to Lush, you're going to the bakery, like, and yeah, I found it to be a really, really wonderful spot. I just met a lot of wonderful people there, made a lot of money also, which was great for me at the time. Yeah, 23rd and Irving, I think. I've seen people there now, which makes me happy, because I'm like, it's, you know, I feel like we've christened it, and now it's a spot. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Greta, how about you in between your studying at Portland State? Do you find time to go out and busk?
Not as much as I'd like to, for sure. I mean, that's been one of my big goals for 2025, was like to really push myself and try to get out and play more. But kind of a similar experience, like being on campus with the PSU Farmers Market. There's always people playing there and just like music around, and I love like being kind of in that atmosphere, but it's definitely like something I'm trying to push myself more into doing, just to get out and play.
Well, now that you two are winners, though, the Portland's favorite busker and the rising star, do you feel like you need to get out a little more and share that with Portland?
I mean, yeah, it reminded me how much I love busking, actually. I kind of forgot, you know, it's easy to just forget how great it is and think, oh, maybe like no one's gonna like it.
Well, they definitely did.
They did. Yes. They love.
Amazing transformation on the street and the sidewalks in downtown, but that energy and that music filtered up, like people in all of the offices could hear what was happening on the street, and it really was significant. One of the things that downtown Portland Clean and Safe does is we have a lot of safety and security officers out on the street. We actually saw a 50% decline in calls for services over the Busk-athon, which is pretty significant. And it just means that, you know, we filled the city full of good energy and happiness, and so there was no room for all the negative energy, which was one of the goals of the event as well, is to kind of really retake the city for, you know, joy and music and all the other great things. So yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know, I think just the overall energy downtown like had this shift.
Yeah.
And I think like I went into it like I knew what our mission was, and I was really excited about that.
You guys had a mission.
To see it like tangibly like go into effect was so cool.
Yeah.
Just like having more people out on the street. Like I think my last performance that I had on Saturday, I had like probably 5 people come up to me who I was like packing up, and they were like saying like, oh, are you finishing up? Like, is there gonna be another person? Because they had been walking around town finding all of the spots, like on the map, like touring, finding the different people performing, which was just like so cool that people were out, and like I feel like we really like achieved what we were going out to do.
Yeah.
You really did.
You did.
Yeah.
You brought like a very tangible buzz to the downtown and Old Town areas. I wasn't necessarily walking the route. I was lime scootering the route like several times throughout the 3 days, and yeah, I mean, you could feel it in the air. It was really cool to see.
Even in the rain, people were very excited to see all of the buskers and just some wonderful people out on the street. I'm sure that you all had that same experience with people. Yeah, so tell us more about the idea for the Busk-athon. Like, who came up with this great idea and why?
On NPR, and they were interviewing a gentleman who had written a book about busking and talking about how important it is for performers to have that interaction and kind of the dialogue that happens with performers when they're performing on the street. It's very intimate, as you have both mentioned. And I was absolutely fascinated, a classic like driveway moment, like listening, and went in and talked with a few people and started talking to Emily. And I have to say that one of the things I enjoy so much about working with Emily is like, we started talking about it, and like pretty soon we like had this whole event within like a day or two. We were like, and it's called the Busk-athon. And it was really, it really came together in some ways fairly fast. We were very fortunate in that we were able to really quickly get some sponsorship dollars, which helped pay for the hard costs for this event through Travel Oregon, Travel Portland. We also partnered with Friends of Noise, who provided their amazing team for AV and also some additional dollars for the Rising Star Award. So that piece came together, and then, it was Emily's logistic talent that kind of kept the whole thing going full speed ahead. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, Sydney and I, after she was inspired by the NPR discussion and talk, that we sat down at dinner and kind of started cooking up, and like Sydney had mentioned, within like an hour we'd set up kind of this like insane, really amazing event idea, and then just hit the ground running. I mean, we had a couple of meetings and to get some feedback and kind of get like a pulse check on whether or not it was a good idea, and instantly got positive feedback from it, and excitement. And so and I love a good challenge, and I love logistics, and I love supporting artists and working out in the community. And so I was like giddy and happy to be able to kind of take the reins a little bit in terms of logistics for Busk-athon.
Well, and I think that was probably very challenging. You had 30 buskers throughout the city over 3 days. And how many venues were there? 18 venues. So just the logistics of trying to schedule that. I can imagine there's a certain kind of person who can do that. And you are that person, Emily.
Logistics, like, ensuring that the route was walkable so people could tour it throughout the weekend and go to multiple venues at once. So ensuring that the route, if we had a big gap, you contact, venues that are within that gap and seeing if they're interested, all the way to just helping the buskers ensure that they were having a positive experience, and that everyone was clear on, the time slots that they wanted, and if there was any cancellations, how to fill that time slot. And then, we kind of touch base on rain and, what do you do when there's a venue that doesn't have coverage, and we have some really nice red market umbrellas, and delivering that to the buskers and ensuring that they were covered during their performances.
I would say also, like, all of those logistics, yes, those were like amazing, but I think there's also something really interesting that happens. We've done this before where we've brought together groups of artists, and especially artists that maybe don't necessarily have the opportunity to collaborate as much, and there is something special about that. It really opens like the door to other like really wonderful opportunities. So a very positive experience.
That's, I think, the one thing that is, I think, the most satisfying from an event organizer is seeing the community that's made from the event that you've created. All the way from the judges going to grab drinks after this and tour the studio space, to the buskers getting to know each other and learning that there's a community of buskers out there, because busking can be kind of more of a solitary sort of hobby or job. And just watching you guys kind of get to know each other was probably my favorite part. I feel like you guys started to become friends and really got to see each other on the trail, heading from one venue to the next, and that was satisfying to see that community created. So
it was wonderful.
Thanks. It was great.
And then can you talk a little bit more? You may not have all the information because it was just a couple of days ago, but the impact for downtown. You talked a little bit about the reduction in calls for service for Portland Clean and Safe, but other things that you might know about already?
So we do track foot traffic. I have to wait till tomorrow to pull all the numbers for the Busk-athon. But I will say what we're seeing in Portland in general is kind of this Portland Rising kind of trend. For March, we were up 9% from March of last year. So like that type of increase in foot traffic, that's a significant increase. In April, I know that the city employees were all now, I think it's the managers that are mandated to be full-time in person downtown. So we do think we're going to see that climb. I'm anticipating that when we pull the foot traffic numbers for the Busk-athon, we'll see a really nice improvement from year-over-year gains. And I think the reduction in calls for service, I think our safety coordinators, they are so amazing and so great at de-escalation and all of that kind of thing, but they were actually made the comment like it was a completely different vibe with music filling the streets for the past 4 days. And that, I think it's important, like Downtown Clean and Safe, we're a placemaking organization, and yes, we do the cleaning and the safety as our name implies, but the placemaking piece, the music, the arts activities, all of those pieces, it invites a different type of activity, a different type of vibrancy, because we could have a clean and safe city and it would be really boring without all of this like placemaking, the lights, the the beautiful park that Emily runs. That is really what I think makes Portland special, and what is it driving kind of the vibrancy in downtown.
What is next for all of you? What's next for Portland Clean and Safe and downtown events? What's coming up next?
Yeah, I could maybe talk a little bit about so our next really large activation is the Bloom Tour. It starts May 23rd and runs until June 8th. It's in partnership with the Portland Rose Festival, and it is an activation that is meant to kind of represent the retail representation of the Rose Festival, and kind of bringing it into the downtown and Old Town core. We have large, massive floral installations throughout the city. Central East Side is participating, and so is Go Lloyd this year, so very exciting. Emily has so many things planned. I'll just turn it over to her.
So Director Park, last year we had a Summer in the City program, and we're bringing that back this year. And we started out with our downtown Ducky Drop that we are going to coincide with the last day of Portland Public Schools, where we essentially get a construction worker about 35 feet up in the air over Teacher's Fountain at Director Park and dump thousands of rubber duckies where kids go running and collect the ducks. We usually like to hide, like last year we hid a Dolly Parton duck in the fountain, and whoever found it got like a prize or a gift. So that will really kick off our Summer in the City program. And then throughout the summer we will have tango nights 2 times a month on Monday. We are planning for more dancing as well on Saturdays. And then we're bringing chess to the park. So we really want to have weekly chess tournaments where we set up chess boards for people to come play, and are partnering with a couple of different chess groups that are local to downtown Portland. And yeah, stay tuned. I mean, I'm still kind of finalizing what that week will look like, but another idea, or one that we're wanting to come to fruition, is an open mic night where we'll invite buskers that participated in Busk-athon and the community out to do spoken words, sing songs, poetry, you name it. So yeah, lots going on top of just event rentals as well. So Piano Push Play will be coming back this year, and we'll have their opening event at Director Park. We also have, as part of our Summer in the City program at Director Park, a Sunday Cartways program. So every Sunday we're inviting vendors to come to the park and essentially sell their items. So we're hoping there's a whole array of kind of like a maker's market that is hopefully Portland, or if not Oregon local, and invite our lovely buskers to busk it at the event. And yeah, we're just looking forward to kind of celebrating small businesses in the Portland area through the makers.
And if there are vendors, potential vendors that are seeing this or hearing this, how can they apply to be a vendor for that event?
Great question. So we've created a Google form. It is on our Director Park webpage at the very bottom to apply. You can also head to Downtown Portland Clean and Safe's Instagram channel, where we have the link there as well. I think with the success of Busk-athon, there's definitely a need to have a Busk-athon or buskers continuing to be supported in downtown Portland and Old Town. And I would personally love to have a Busk-athon 2.0 next year. So yeah,
Wonderful.
Hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, hopefully. And how about for you two? Maeve, what's next for you? I mean, you just came off of show at the Kit Kat Club
Yeah,
right
that's
before
right.
busking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
from Kit Kat Club to busking, and then what's next for you?
Yeah, I was in New York in the 2024 revival of Cabaret on Broadway, and then I moved back here. It was Busk-athon, and now it's going to be Falstaff with Portland Opera. That is going to be in May. I'll be in the chorus for that. It'll be super fun. Then we've got Mount Tabor Mondays, which are going to start Memorial Day Monday, I believe, which is May 26th. So I'll be there performing at Mount Tabor, which will be great. And then, yes, in June, Renegade Opera is an opera company that is doing an outdoor immersive opera accordion program called Bird Songs of Opera. It'll be in Leach Botanical Garden, and I will lead a guided tour of the park and take everybody to meet all sorts of amazing, beautiful opera singing birds. And be playing accordion the whole time, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that with Renegade Opera.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Greta, what's next for you?
Oh
School.
boy, lots of things. Yeah, school. Keeping on with my degree. Kind of with my theater hat, I've been co-directing a production of Red the Cyclone with PSU Stage that opens in May. Tickets are free. You should come and see. And then with music, hopefully more busking, getting out in the street, playing. Like I said, I'm working on co-producing some new music that will be out this summer that I'm really excited about. And then hopefully just more shows, just getting out in the community and playing.
Where can we follow you, Maeve? Where can we find you online?
Yeah, so I post most frequently on Instagram. That Instagram is at Maeve_Stier. And I usually post on my Instagram story, if not on my feed, when I'm going to be playing somewhere. And then I have a website where I also post my performance dates, and that is MaveStiermusic.com.
Great. And Greta, how about you? Where can we find you?
Well, you can find my music is out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, just at Greta Lau. You can find Evergreen. My album is out everywhere. And then other than that, yeah, Instagram at GNLau, L-A-U. It's where I post all my updates for all the things that I'm involved in.
Hello, how are we? We are here to celebrate Busk-athon, presented by Downtown Portland Clean and Safe. Now, who is so excited to meet some rising stars? Well, before we get to that, my name is Anonymous. I'm the tallest queen in captivity, and I will be your hostess today. like that.
I wanted to surprise you.
I feel blindsided. That is crazy. The minute you opened your mouth, I was like, oh my goodness, I am in the presence of a goddess. Yes. I mean that, girl. That voice, that is amazing. But I'm not a judge, so I'll leave that to our judges. Judges, what do we think about that performance?
Holy, I can't say the rest of that sentence. I don't know what I expected, but Jesus Christ, that was a fantastic.
Thank you.
I only have one word. Wow.
Well, I've seen it a lot on the 23rd, so it's great to see it translate on an actual stage. This is absolutely amazing, just fabulous.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Talk about, Portland vibe. You've got Parisian vibe all over it. I can see you on the corner, with a little baguette and some cheese,
That would be great.
some wine.
Do we have a baguette anywhere?
The first thing I'm gonna do when I go home is stop and get some cheese and wine. So
Me too.
At first I was, as you were walking up, I was getting true Beverly Hills vibes, which I liked. And then you performed and I have no idea what you sang in terms of words. And I think we all just were speechless. So fun. You could be on a street corner, but you could also be in the Schnitz and we'd be proud to fill that place.
Oh, thank you so much for your trust.
Facts.
Thank you guys so much.
Are we allowed to kick out your roommates?
What's that?
Are we allowed to kick out your roommates instead?
I got nicer roommates.
All right, let's hear it one more time for Maeve Stier.
It's the most amazing community. I'm so happy to be here.
That's amazing. Give it up for Greta. Do we have any other theater kids in the audience?
Let's go PSU theater program.
That's right, birds of a feather. All right, Greta, well, show us what you got. Good luck. Ooh. Let's give some more encouragement, shall we? Let's give some more love to Greta while they send them.
I also just one real quick. I want to thank Emily and everyone who put on this whole thing. This is so amazing. I feel really privileged to be here. This is one of the reasons why I love Portland so much. So thank you to the entire crew for putting this on. I won't lie to you, I've never been easy. Sure always up for a challenge.
for Greta. Greta, can I ask, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
Oh my gosh, so young and so talented.
Thank you.
Now, Greta, let's hear what the judges have to say.
All right, I get to start this time. Really good, really good. Really enjoyed the audience engagement, and you definitely have a lot of stage presence, so good stuff.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Your stage presence was incredible, and you're playing. You're a dope guitar player. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the tune.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a really nice song. I kind of look at you as the classic troubadour busker. So I think that's great, keeping the tradition alive. I'd love to see you out in the streets. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say that you exude confidence, and I really love it. I love watching you up there. You just have a great vibe.
Thank you.
What everything else everyone said, I could just sit here all afternoon and listen to you and just feel good sitting in a park, sunshine. Welcome to Portland. We're glad that you're here. So
Thanks so
congrats.
much.
I love that. Sounds like high praise from the judges.
Thanks for joining us today on This Is PDX. If you enjoyed today's episode, take a moment to follow, like, or leave a comment. Better yet, tell your friends by sharing this episode with them. Follow us on Instagram at thisispdx.or, on Facebook at This Is PDX. Watch this episode on YouTube at This Is PDX Now. Thanks to NetSpace for sponsoring This Is PDX.